minutes. That's so strange because you popped off and I was still there for a second. So it said host
I've
has
had weird stuff happening all day since yesterday with YouTube.
interesting. Yeah, it said host has left and then it'll be right back. Maybe if you can go, are you able to go into that other one and post the new, like in the comments, post the new link?
I don't even see myself live on here.
Oh.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah.
Okay, we got one person joining us. Hopefully
Okay.
they're from the other chat there.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll come back.
Rachel, yay! Hi, Rachel. Thanks for rejoining. At least we were
Okay.
just a
Awesome.
yes. At least we were just a couple minutes and not like halfway through.
Yeah. And I'm like, should I call her? I texted her. I didn't know. But you figured it out. It was easy.
Yes.
All right. Awesome.
All
And I
right.
do definitely want to talk about the alien situation. I have two sides of my brain
And
about
I have
aliens.
questions. I have questions about a lot of stuff because I know what
Okay.
I've seen.
So
So
I've seen, so just to start coming in hot, I've seen UFOs. I've seen several of them in my life, things I cannot explain.
yep.
Um, the first major thing I saw was in southeastern Missouri, 1995. It was probably August or so of 1995. It was a place I was very familiar with and had been many times. It was out in the country, and my husband Doug was driving, and we were out. It was pitch black. It was like 10 o'clock at night. There's nobody there, like, there's nothing there, pitch black. And I look over, and I actually have a painting of this somewhere if I still have it. Um, an orangish, you know, the color of a yellow light at a stoplight, the
Yes.
yellow color. It was that color. I'll never forget it. And it was floating. And because I was familiar with this area, I know what the landscape is. There's big hills in this part of Missouri, and it was floating below the line of the hills over the field.
Wow.
And as soon as I looked over at it, first of all, I was in shock. I'll never forget it. As soon as I looked over, it took off and a long streak was behind it. Now, because I have an astronomy master's degree, I know that couldn't have been a meteorite because it was hovering when I looked at it and then it took off.
Yeah.
I later asked friends from the same area because that was a part of Missouri I had lived in before, and they said, "Oh, we see the orange balls all the time. They're common there." Now there are military bases all around that area,
Well,
so
that makes even more sense.
that makes even more sense. That was the first major one, and I was scared to death. I was scared to go to sleep. Like, I thought the aliens were coming to get me. Then I had a weird alien abduction dream, and I call it a dream because it's the only time this ever happened, and it was very short, and I have no evidence otherwise than it was a dream. I was in Daytona Beach with my husband, probably within the same year, and we're in this, chintzy hotel. We'd played mini golf. I went to bed. I'm sleeping, and I wake up, and there are three grays in the dream. In the dream, three grays. I tried to wake up my husband. He was paralyzed. He was not waking up no matter what I said, and I could only move my head. And my legs were up like this. So my knees were bent, and I could feel the fingers, three fingers on the top and one on the
Like,
bottom,
wow.
picking me up and moving me into the bathroom. And that's all that happened. That's all I remember from the dream. But it happened, the dream occurred in the room I was in,
Wow.
not in another place. It wasn't
Right.
a dream where you're in some other place. The dream
Right.
occurred in the hotel room where I was.
It was like you were outside of yourself and you could see what was going on through.
No, I was not outside of myself. I was
Really?
fully aware
But you could
and
see it
awake.
like, oh,
And
wow.
it was, yes. Isn't
Wow.
that trippy?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. I wasn't looking down. I was and I was aware, and I could only move my head. And they picked me
So,
up, moved me into the bathroom, and that's all I remember. And then I was back to sleep or whatever. I'm not sure.
hi Usher, thank you for subscribing. And Leah, yeah, I would say that would be a scary incident as well too. I've had I've had a couple encounters myself. First off, I grew up around Wright Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton,
Mm.
Ohio. And
Very, very familiar with Right Pat.
Hangar B, baby, that's where all the whispers come out of. And
Somebody has a question. Yeah, the live froze, Branwyn, and I had to start it up again.
yeah, we had to start back
Yeah.
up again here. But there was a lot of weird stuff that happened in that area. I mean, it's Wright Patterson Air
Oh,
Force,
yeah.
huge Air Force base.
Yep.
And there's a lot of wooded areas, a lot of farms, a lot of country land around there,
Mm-hmm.
and just it's a very energetic area. We actually have a lot of people don't know this about the Midwest, but especially in the Ohio Valley region, it's on a bunch of faults, and like we
Yeah,
have,
that's
yeah,
true.
and we have like earthquakes every once in a while and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I always thought like, you
It
know,
releases energy. The earthquakes release energy.
magnetic, whatever, and all of that. So that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking too. But so that's where I grew up at, and obviously because of that, aliens were always a topic of conversation in my community, and I was always intrigued. But then I moved out to here into Vegas. I mean, I knew you from Savannah, Georgia, and we used to always
Mm-hmm.
talk about this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I moved out here to Vegas, and obviously
Uh,
Las Vegas with Area 51. And one night, when I was living with one of my ex boyfriends, he was an Aquarius of all things, and we were outside grilling on the porch, and all of a sudden you could hear just from neighbors and stuff, everybody's phones starts going off. And my boyfriend at the time picks up his phone because somebody's calling him. They're like, look up in the sky. And they're like, and he was like, where? He's like, towards Lone Mountain, which is on the west side of the city. So we're right there. We're on that side of city, and we're in our backyard, and we start looking over, and then all of a sudden we see it. It's like this, and I mean slow, super slow moving. It was like a flat, because we were seeing it from the bottom. It was like just a flat but gray, because there was a little bit of clouds object, and it's just floating. It wasn't round like an air balloon. Didn't look like any kind of, it
what
couldn't
shape
have,
was it?
it was like a, I don't know if it was trying. I mean, from where we were standing, it looked triangular, but it could have been more like a diamond, you know, and just at
Mm-hmm.
the angle that we were seeing it at. Now, here's the thing: I actually got it on video, but this was, gosh, I moved here in 2008. This would have been around probably 2013 or 14. And the phone that I had at the time, really crappy quality. I did get it on video, but now it's like on a crappy flip phone,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know if I can ever find that footage again, but I had it. Like I video recorded it. And so that was here in
I bet
Vegas.
there are people who have recordings of that.
I
If there
guarantee
were
it.
so many people. Mhm.
Vegas, we record everything as soon as we start seeing it. I mean, we get it here all the time now, but
You've
that's just
got
one
some
that,
comments coming in.
let's
Um,
see. We also have a major ley line. Oh yeah, in Ohio. Yep. The ley lines. Yep. So, that said, then 2 years ago, I was taking it was a really interesting, as we're talking about, just the spirituality stuff, and then astrology and aliens and whatnot. I was taking a business, it was half business trip, but also I had it was like a spiritual retreat. It was a gathering with one of my esoteric groups that I'm part of, and it was in Denver. And Denver has a ton of esoteric history in the area, but also they're also really well known for UFOs and alien sightings and whatnot.
and their airport conspiracy.
Oh, huge conspiracy with that, huge.
Oh
So
no.
so I was driving, and it was just as I was getting into the Denver area, and it was super late at night. And all of a sudden, I look over and people start pulling over. Like there was a bunch of people like starting to pull over on the side of the highway. And I look over and off into the air, and it's like, you know that there's mountains around you in Denver and everything,
Yeah.
but you also know what when you see a plane or something that's flying in the air. It wasn't like, lights on the mountain or anything like that. It was floating, and it was going at a very unusual speed, and so unusual that there were other people pulling over off the side of the highway. I remember the date. It was Friday the 13th of June, maybe June or July. It might have been July, I think. But I know it was a Friday the 13th because there's significance to that too in the esoteric gathering that I was going to. But it was the strangest thing. And I had just encountered on that very same trip, right before all that happened, another crazy thing that had happened to me. So I was like, I wasn't going to stop and
Hmm.
look anymore just after everything that had happened to me. I was trying to get to where I needed to go. But it was the craziest thing ever. And I was like, I know what that is. I'm like, that's a UFO. It's got to be. Like, people are like, it was just the craziest thing ever. So,
I had an experience in Pooler, right outside of Savannah, Georgia.
yep,
It was broad daylight, and remember those digital cameras we used to all have before we had smartphones? So this was
yeah.
probably around 2005 or 6. And my husband was outside doing some yard work. He goes, "Hey, Nick, look, there's something weird in the sky." And it was perfectly spherical, and it was really high up, and it was not a balloon. We lived by an airport, so I've seen all the stuff you can see flying around the sky, and I always pay attention to the sky because of my astronomy background. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. So I ran in the house and got the camera, and I'm taking photos because there was no video on it, I guess. I don't remember. Taking a series of photos, and it was going so slow. Like you said, it was just with your UFO and just so slow, and it was so high up. And my batteries went dead,
Of course.
of course.
Right.
It was so slow, I had time to go in the house and change the batteries and go in the backyard because it had gone over the top of the house and take more pictures. And I was so astounded by this and so happy that I got photos of it. I reported it to MUFON,
Oh, wow.
and there's a record of it. You could look up the record, like my name and UFO incident, whatever year, and it's there with the photos I took. And the guy actually called me and asked me. He interviewed, like, because they're researching, what was this? What could it have
The
been?
Men
Blah
in
blah blah.
Black.
Yeah, no, no, it was a MUFON guy. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. It was a MUFON guy. So no, no Men in Black. But there's military bases around Savannah, Georgia too. I think like 3 of them. Like
Yes.
they're all over down there.
The Army
It
Rangers are
was
down there.
perfectly spherical. It was not square, it was not V-shaped, it was just a dark gray sphere, and it was not a balloon. I'm a fully functioning adult. I know the difference between a balloon and some other strange object, and, the MUFON guy didn't really have an explanation, obviously, except it's unidentified, and, in some of the pictures, you couldn't see it. And he said, "Was it disappearing?" I said, "No, I don't think it was doing that. I think it's just the focus of the camera was
Mhm.
just not picking it up on like every other picture, but I could visually see it the whole time." It was fascinating. Like Doug thought it was a stealth, but I'm like, stealths are not round,
Round. Right.
but it moved in a perfectly straight line. Slow, slow, slow. It didn't get moved by the wind or anything. It just all the way across. It was crazy.
So my prediction for 2024, and I know how you are about predictions, but my prediction for 2024, I know
I'm
that
not
we are
against
going to,
predictions. I just don't want to make any.
right? Well, I feel that this is going to be the year where we actually like make like legitimate contact, like where it's contact and there's some kind of significant evidence, of it happening.
Mhm.
The one thing that I'm more interested in is, who or what lives amongst us as of right now. There's a lot of theory.
Can I tell you my theory I tell all my students?
I would love to hear this.
Okay. So, first of all, we have absolutely nothing to be scared of with aliens
I agree.
because if they can get here from wherever they come from, if they wanted us gone, we'd be gone.
Hmm.
And secondly, if they came all the way here and they wanted us gone, they would not bomb us like in the movies. Why would you do all that? It's way too much work. It's way too expensive. It takes up too many resources to fight us weak humans, right? They're coming across the galaxy. Why would they do that? You know what they would do? Any
What?
guesses in the comments? I want to see if anybody can guess how aliens would get rid of us if they wanted to take over our planet. And as a scientist, I think this is accurate. If anybody has any guesses. So let's see if anybody knows.
I have
Uh,
one word that keeps running through my head right now. Oh, that's a good one, Leah. Germs.
what word
So
goes through your head?
I just pulverize. For some reason, it just
Leah,
pulverized.
Leah, I don't know if you have watched any of my videos about this on other platforms, but virus, they drop a virus and
Yeah.
we'd all be gone in a couple of days. They could drop it in 3 or 4 airports around the world, international airports, one on every continent, boom, we'd be gone. And we wouldn't
Well,
even know it was aliens. It's
I
the
mean,
easiest way to do it.
and that would pulverize us as a society, as
Yeah,
a yeah, absolutely.
yep. And
Um,
who's to say that hasn't happened?
right. Um,
We don't know.
take over your mind. I think that they could do that right now already.
Yeah,
They have telekinesis, telepathy. They're able to do that for sure.
yep.
Um, I see the especially now with my path in spirituality and what I do. A lot of my decks have something to do with either astrology and or quantum physics and or
Yes,
also
Stargazer says poison the water.
yep,
That's
that would
easy.
happen too.
Mhm.
But I've got like oracle cards that talk about like the Lemurians and the Atlanteans and way back when. And my belief is that we're almost like their babies. I believe that, and some people want to fight with the whole Adam and Eve thing and God and how we were conceived and put on earth and so on and so forth. But it's all about who God and is to you. But
Mhm.
y- there is beliefs out there that the I can't think of the name right now. Why is it escaping me? Um, one of the ancient civilizations, starseed civilizations, inhabited Earth, and they
Oh, the
created
Anunnaki?
Anunnaki. Thank you, Anunnaki, and they spliced, our DNA,
Mhm.
so that they would have humanoid forms of themselves to help uh, build and create and do all the things that they wanted done on Earth, which was harnessing energy. And it's like how the pyramids were built and all of those things. And when you look into it that way, like all these alien shows on TV and stuff that I've watched in ancient civilizations, it's like
Mhm.
really interesting how the alignment of like the pyramids in Egypt also are the exact matching alignments to the
Orion's belt.
yes, Orion's
And
belt,
the
but
ones
also
in Mexico.
yes, that's exactly what I was
Mhm.
going to say. So
Mhm.
there is, there's a lot of symmetry there. But that said, we're, you know, um, as a human society, we're actually like star seeds of a more ancient civilization coming from somewhere in the outer space. Now, there's a lot of theories that there's different civilizations that came and, you know, wanted to create existence on earth together. And so they some are the Lemurians, some are come from the Anunnaki, others are the like the Pleiadians and things like that. And
You got some comments coming in too.
ooh, wonderful. Let's see, we might be near ants to aliens. And then I just recently saw a video, Bashar, some visitors are actually going to stop the next nuclear attack. And you know what,
And then we are absolutely the babies in the universe. So those are some of the the good comments. I love this conversation. I have some comments before you go on to the next part, though, about the Anunnaki,
Go for
gold,
it.
and splicing DNA. So,
Yep.
the person who interpreted the information about Anunnaki from, um, gosh, I know all this information, but it's escaping my brain. Anyway, the stone tablets that had the impressions on it,
The
and
emerald tablets.
no, 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 no. Anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. I don't want to waste time trying to remember that. The person who interpreted them, there have been scholars who disagree with his interpretation. So just to put that out there, so that's a possibility that he was incorrect. Okay. Secondly, um, they say in his interpretation of the Anunnaki was that they built humans to mine for gold because their atmosphere needed gold. Now, I have to strongly, 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 strongly disagree with that. And the reason why is because there are asteroids out in space, billions, gazillions, trillions, many, many asteroids that are filled with gold and precious elements. They would not need to come here and mine underground to find that. They could go capture an asteroid, lasso it, mine it themselves. They could put it through a machine and melt it and melt all the gold out. So that I don't believe that part of the story. DNA splicing, we've got some real weird stuff in our DNA. We have 2 chromosomes that were, look up chromosome 2 in a human. Our chromosome 2 is made up of 2 different chromosomes merged together. That is scientifically true. And something happened, and we don't know what that is scientifically, to cause the DNA to take 2 chromosomes and splice them together. And we know it happened because of the shape and the evidence of telomeres in the middle, which is supposed to be at the ends. So it's interesting. And that chromosome, and Greg Braden talks about a lot about this, that chromosome, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think that chromosome has something to do with how we developed language. So that would make sense because we have a language different from any other species that allows us to communicate information from one generation to the next. So the difference between humans and other intelligent species is this one major thing. You know, other species can communicate. We communicate and learn and pass on that information to the next generation. Than the next generation. And then,
Right.
so that's dolphins, although they're smart, they don't have a library full of information that they're passing on. Oh, Ollie needs a hug. Let's everybody send Ollie a hug.
Oh, and Ashley too.
What degree you got, you charlatan? Oh, I love being called a charlatan. That's a compliment. I have a biology bachelor's degree and an astronomy master's degree. If you'd like, I can show you. They're right there on my wall.
Very
So
nice.
keep commenting because it puts us in the algorithm, and then more people get to see our content.
100%. We transmute negative energy over here. If
True.
you haven't learned already, so
Transmutators.
yep.
We're transmutating.
So we're already at 45 minutes into this. We haven't done any readings. We've been talking the
No,
entire time. I
I
knew this
know,
would
but
happen with.
it's, I mean, what's better than talking about aliens?
I know.
Let
I
me
knew
tell
that
you
this would
something
happen.
about aliens. I could talk all night about this, but I have a date with my husband soon. I have to get to. Dr. Sarah Seeger from MIT, who is a PhD astrophysicist from MIT, one of my favorite ladies in science. She has said on many occasions there is a 100% chance that aliens exist
Yep.
because
We
there are so many planets.
out
When
there.
I learned astronomy in the early 90s, there were no other planets that we knew of yet until the first one was discovered in 1992 by Jeff Marcy at UC Berkeley. Look him up. He got fired. That's another story. And then now we have telescopes that can see these other planets. They're seeing aurora on other planets now. All kinds of really cool stuff. So we know every star has planets.
And I was just about to say, and how do we know that? From technology. And the reason, and especially as Pluto in Aquarius continues to transpire, that technology is going to become more developed, and we're going to get clearer, further away images. I mean, stuff that's going to be blowing our minds.
James
And
Webb
it's,
Space Telescope is up there now, and although the Hubble that went up in the early 90s changed astronomy forever, James Webb is like Hubble on steroids and is changing it and discovering things. And just look up James Webb Space Telescope and you'll find so much information your head will explode. Branwyn says she's fine with this conversation.
I like it. I want to throw in a little bit of tarot and astrology into this. As we've been talking, I've got a really great deck. It's called the Celestial Bodies Oracle.
Ooh, I love that.
And as you were talking, I don't know if I showed it on the first video where we had to switch over, or if it was the beginning of this next one. But this was top of the deck and bottom of the deck. Top of the deck is the number 8. Remember what I said at the very beginning of the reading about 2024 being an 8
Yep.
year, and
And
with
I
the
got my
strength
8.
card, with your strength card. Yep. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. And this is a year of what comes around goes around. And that's, so this fell top of the deck just to confirm what we've been talking about. Underneath the deck, we have Gemini.
Mhm.
Gemini
Those
is
are
actually
beautiful
the,
cards.
oh, thank you. This is the most amazing deck in the world. They're gilded on this on the side there. I've had this deck for probably 2 years, never touched it until I started doing the Pluto and Aquarius readings. It's a very intricate deck. That's why.
And I love the silvery edges on it. It's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's gorgeous. It's so cool. Very beautiful artwork too. But Gemini came up, and it doesn't surprise me because we just shifted into, I think it's like it might be the last, I don't have my other book around me. It might be the last quarter moon, but we're it's either first quarter or last quarter moon
We
in
just had
Gemini.
a new moon. We just had a new moon last week. So
Yeah,
we
that
should
was
be in the
last week, but
first
today,
quarter.
right now, today the moon is either last quarter or first quarter, and it's in Gemini
Yeah, it should be first
today.
quarter since we just had the new moon. Should be
Okay,
first
yes, you're
quarter.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but that said, we're in Gemini. Literally, it just switched today. And then we were doing a lot of talking about Mercury, planet Mercury, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So, and that's
See, those
literally
are
like when
things
I,
I don't know, and I love learning that. I
mhm.
love learning that.
And you know, it all picks up, you pick it up as you go along and whatnot. But yeah, so
Do you
I
want to
just
do
wanted
a
to throw
couple
that in.
card pulls for people?
I can. I
And
absolutely
then I'll
can.
try to do a reading if we have time.
Sure. Is there someone?
How do you do your card? Do you ask them to ask
Well,
for a reading or?
if there's someone specific that would like a reading, I'm going to be using the Quantum Tarot for the tarot portion. I've got Black Moon Astrology and the Celestial Bodies card for. I also have Beyond Lemuria. So you know what? I'm just going to pull a Lemurian card right now and do a general for the general reading would be great. Leah, okay, Leah, I'll pull some tarot for you. I want to pull a general Lemuria oracle for everybody. So let me do that right now since I have the cards in my hand. And let's just see what Lemuria has to tell us. Higher peace, power, protection, and prosperity for the greater good. What do we have for our general collective and audience who is with us today? Please, spirits. Thank you. Ooh, okay. So underneath the deck, we've got number 55, unique gifts. And what I love
Mm,
about this is fives represent a change of direction. which is literally what Pluto and Aquarius is about. Major shifts in the universe, shifts in lifestyle choices, shifts in the way that we, think and view and see and whatnot. But also, this talks about everybody having unique gifts and abilities, and all of those are going to be coming out too as we start to have these shifts within the universe. Then we've got, 5 + 5 = 10. Tens are endings, but they're also beginnings because 1 + 0 = 1. So it's very interesting. I feel like we're going to be seeing like this is underlying energy. So it's like what we already are feeling and dealing with. And I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more of these unique gifts coming out and within us as time progresses. And then we've got number 3, top of the deck, sacral chakra, and it's the core of creation. So, your sacral it's at the bottom of, all of your chakras. Trying to find my book now. Oh, it's right here. Um, and that's like the core of change. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, Nick. Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's see. So,
Branwen's looking out for us.
thank you, Branlin. So, sacral chakra, core of creation. This deals with feelings, emotional responses, pleasure, sensuality, intimacy, connection, letting go, creativity, sacred sexuality, passion, healthy boundaries, and valuing the body. And I feel like we were talking about earlier, relationships, how we view ourselves, our relationships, lifestyle choices, how we view, just the direction of mankind, basically, right? And it's all about creation. What are we creating? Um, how are we contributing to that creation as well within us? And so it's vibrant orange is a color to get in touch with your creativity and be able to embrace more of your natural expression, however it looks to you. And then I just want to touch upon the 55 because the unique gifts. I feel like, many of us who are even here and interested in things like tarot and mediumship, we already have a certain amount of unique gifts within us, and it's like we're waking up, tapping in. So it says your superpowers, a sense of purpose, the meaning behind your quirks, exploring your interests, shortcomings as unique undiscovered skills. So the meaning behind this card is what makes you unique. Any quirks that you feel are shortcomings could be the key to your superpowers. Look for the positive sides of your oddities and traits. How would you like to spend more time? Are there things that you would like to try or feel or pull to explore? Now is the time to follow these whispers. You never know how transformational they may be. And this is so true. It's like, I've been in the cannabis space for a long time. I've been using cannabis since I was 15 years old, and it at one time was one of those things that was um it was a voodoo, or what people didn't talk about. Well, for the same amount of time I've been doing astrology and tapping into tarot, but I always thought that it was one of those things that people just think is too weird. And it was funny because as I got into cannabis and started becoming more confident with being able to speak out about why I believe in it and it's my medicine, so on and so forth, then I realized it's like that's the same thing with my tarot and astrology. I just have to speak out about it more. I have to, explore it. I need to share it with others. And then come to find out there's a whole community, the whole world of people that have felt this way too, have been exploring the same things. And that is coming from your sacral chakra, core of creation. So I feel like many of us are going to be, really tapping into what makes us, creative individuals, and really coming out with our unique gifts, if that makes sense to you all. But I love that. So that's for all of us. So Leah, I'm going to pull some cards for you with the quantum tarot. Do you have a specific question? And if not, I will just do a general energy pull. Is Leah still there?
It's taking a minute for the comments to load.
To update.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, this is for Leah, calling in higher. spirits for peace, power, protection, and prosperity for the greater good. What do we have for Leah, please? Okay. I heard ready. Ready. Okay. Energy going into the shuffle is the Six of Swords. So again, this is air energy, Aquarius. My thoughts are around a retreat I am hosting. Okay. So the swords are all about communication. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. Six of Swords talks about smoother communication, moving from choppy waters to calmer waters, being able to communicate more smoothly or get messages across more smoothly with a person, to a group of people at work. Take it as it resonates. But this is just the energy going into this. I feel like you may feel like energy is, or the energy is shifting and it's easier to communicate or get thoughts, messages, points across. All right, what else? 3 cards for Leah, please. Okay. It's the Eight of Swords. What else? 2 more for Leah, please. Thank you. 2 of Swords, more air energy. One more, please, for Leah. Thank you. And the Page of Cups. Underneath the deck, I can't make this shut up. This is great. Underneath the deck, we have the Star. The Star is the card of Aquarius. We're in Aquarius right now. And the Star card is about exactly everything that we've been talking about. It's about space. It's about technology. It's about, but it's also a card of healing. Okay, so the first card that we have here, an 8, another 8. We've been talking about 8s all day. So the 8 of Swords is actually, it. This is recent past energy, Leah. I feel like you may have felt like stressed or may have some anxiety, some sleepless nights, worries, fears around. I think you were saying something about a retreat, right? So you may be, tossing it in your mind, having anxiety. And one thing I want to say is don't don't overthink because this is air energy, especially Aquarians in general and Libras too, but they're great at overthinking things. And when you overthink something, you can manifest that energy into, into your presence, into your that's what I'm looking for, just into the now, into your current situation, right? But this was in the past. You had fear, anxiety, worries. And then present energy, we've got the Two of Swords. And this is making a decision almost with your eyes closed. It's relying on your senses. Um, it's like depending on in the typical Rider Waite tarot, Nicole. If when you learn these cards, it usually is the picture of a woman with a blindfold on, and she's got 2 swords like this, right? And
Yeah,
it's
I've seen
because
that.
she's been blinded, so her sense of sight has been taken away, so she can't see where she's going or which direction to take
Oh.
next. But what she's doing instead is relying on her other senses, sound, uh, telepathy,
Oh.
smell, feelings, whatever it is, to guide her to make the next decision, to take the next step. And that's where you're at right now, Leah. Trying to decide which next steps to take, for whatever it is, the retreat related. But what I see coming in is this Page of Cups energy. Cups are feelings and emotions. It's watery energy. This also talks about the creation or inception of something. Um, it's like almost like a baby, but I feel like in the situation of a retreat, like this could be like your baby, like a project or something that you're looking forward to exploring and starting, like almost like a new creation. It's actually a very positive card. I love it, and I see wonderful things happening from this. Serpentaris is something that's on the card. Pages are also messengers, and they denote younger energy. So you could be dealing with somebody younger than you, water sign energy, water, Scorpio, Pisces. You could have that in your chart somewhere as well. Um, you may be getting a message coming in about this, about getting it started or getting to it. I feel like it'll be positive and productive for you because that is water energy. I feel like you had a lot of fear around it and you're just trying to kind of find your way. But what I do see underneath the deck is is that star energy, and this is talking about healing. And this is even for air sign energy, Aquarius energy. It's Aquarius is like the water air sign, basically. Even the symbol for Aquarius looks like water. And also, this is telling me that I feel like this will be happening. Well, we're only in Aquarius for like the next day or so, or maybe we ended it yesterday. Anyway, that said, this will definitely be happening this year, well, within the next 20 years. But I see healing coming from this. I feel like this is going to be a very healing retreat. Behind this, you have the Two of Pentacles, making a financial decision, balancing that between work life balance. And then behind that is the King of Swords. And so it's just making a straight decision. Also, could denote something having to do with legal law or a judgment of some kind. Behind that is the Four of Wands. That's more healing energy. I feel like this is going to be very healing for you with this retreat once it gets started. And so that's what I have for you.
She's got all positive comments for you.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, sorry. I was like in the zone not reading as I was going along. It means a lot to me. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Leah.
Can I jump in and ask Leah a question?
Absolutely.
Leah, do you have a male in spirit that you would want to get a message from? Because I'm feeling very strongly that you have a male in spirit that is here talking to me. Yes. Was this a companion? Oh, your dad. Okay. Um, okay. So I doodle when I do readings. If you don't mind, can I give you a reading from your dad? Oh, you asked him to come.
My heart
Okay.
chakra just exploded. I love that.
All right. Just give me a second to doodle. And I'm sorry to say I wasn't paying attention because I was editing our video when you were doing the reading. So I wanted to get aliens on there right away. All right. Leah, I'm seeing now. I don't know if you were on the first live. I'm seeing a fine kind of like a fine line drawing. Were you the one who said you had the infinity tattoo, Leah? I can't remember who said that, but if that's you, that's what I'm seeing. If it's not you, I see kind of like this drawing of a wiggly line tattoo. Okay, so that wasn't you. All right. So do you understand either you have something on your body or your dad had something on his body or maybe something embroidered or drawn? Okay. I have my kids' initials in wiggles. Okay, because I'm seeing these little wiggly lines. Okay. Okay. All right, Rachel, hang on. Let me just read for read for Leah. Okay. And then do any of your kids have, don't tell me anything else until I ask, because you're giving me too much information and it's gonna, I want it to be a pure reading. Um, do one of your kids or someone in your family, just say yes or no, maybe, or I don't know, have a name or initial of your dad's in their name, like a middle name was your dad's name or something with your dad's name? And now I'm hearing that something about your dad's last name. Did you keep your dad's last name? A lot about his name. And now this happened to me last night on my TikTok live with Kathy. Every time I asked, okay, so you don't know anything about the name. Okay. Okay. Because he's talking about his name and he's like, you did keep his name. Okay. All right. So that's what the original message was. And it turned into that. Thank you for that. He said, not the kids, yours. Okay. But you're his kid. So I, was just misinterpreting that. He said, he thinks of you fondly. I feel like he's, what I'm hearing is he was a kind gentleman and he thinks of you fondly. I feel like he's speaking to me properly. And he was very kind and loving to you. And then he said, but I was misunderstood by others. Do you understand why he would say that? Like, he had a different relationship with you than others. Yes. Because I feel like your perspective of him was very different, and he's showing me how you saw him as this kind, loving person, and other people were like not looking at him in the same way necessarily. Please hold comments while I read for Leah. Okay, thank you for validating that. And now he's showing me another drawing, and this could either be a starfish or a star, something with points on it. This could be either an object, piece of artwork, or again, a tattoo, because I feel like this is drawn on somebody. Do you understand that starfish shape, star shape? I don't know if that yes was for, I think that yes was from before. I almost feel like it's one of those starfish decorations. But thank you for everyone for your patience while we wait for the comments in the chat to load. Okay. I don't remember star. Okay, think about that. It could be something you'll remember later. I do readings all the time where people don't remember and then later they're like, "Oh yeah," and they send me a pictures or something of the thing, whatever it is. He loves the beach. Okay. That kind of works, but he's showing me this starfish and he's kind of driving me crazy with it.
I have to say something. She just had the star card underneath the deck
Okay.
in the reading. There's that too.
Okay. I feel like this is something else. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me get a message from your dad for you. And then, because I know we're running along on time. And this is his message. He said, take life as it comes like waves of the ocean. And he's making me feel like waves of the ocean. He's like, you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. And if you're in a down, know that you'll be up again. And sometimes you'll have 2 or 3 downs at a time, and then you'll have a big upswing. So don't get too worked up about any one thing. He said, don't get too worked up about any one thing. Make sure you he's saying look through the looking glass. He's like, look through the looking glass to see what's in front of you. If that makes sense to you, let me know. But he's like saying, look through the looking glass so you're not fogged by what's happening in the present necessarily. You can see the good that's coming. So that's his message. Enjoy the ups and know that the downs will pass, and looking towards the happiness in the future. Let me know if that resonates with you. It sounds like him. Okay. Yeah, because it sounded um, very specific in his tone. And just know you're loved and he's around you. And I swear this starfish means something. When they repeatedly show me something, it means something. So you may have this in a box of his belongings, or you may have it on a necklace, but he's driving me crazy with this starfish. So if you find it, send me a message. You can comment on this video later or send me an email if you figure out what the starfish is. Okay. Um, Thank you very much for allowing me to talk to your dad.
And if you don't mind, I have one additional question on top of that because I feel like it pulls back to my reading for her. Leah, do you happen to know the zodiac sign of your father when he was born?
Hi, Jasmina. Hi,
Or
everybody who's
or
sticking
do you
around.
know when he was born? May have to do with our dog. Oh,
September 30th.
September 30th.
So
So
whatever's after Virgo.
that would be Libra? September, October. So that would be Libra, which is an air sign, which is the kid. So that makes sense. And you're reading that we had that King of Swords that was underneath the deck. And I said that's a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. That was his energy coming through.
Mm.
That's why I was asking. I was like, there's some kind of air energy here. And again, that's the star was underneath the deck. That's air energy as well. But I feel like that was your dad trying to make a presence, because as soon as you said dad coming through, and I'm like, that's that masculine energy underneath the deck. You're saying
Um,
star was there, but his energy I feel like was coming through in that reading as well. So your dad maybe, looking over you, protecting you, and however this relates to the retreat that you're talking about, he's going to be looking over you and protecting you with that as well.
So I want us to go, since we're like way over time, I want us to go over our specials again. For everybody watching, I have a BOGO 50 for 50% off any reading, any full reading. And I have a buy one, get one completely free Valentine's special. So if you book a full reading before February 29th, because it's a leap year, which is also awesome and has to do with astronomy. Once you book a full reading, you're very welcome, Leah, and thank you everybody. And Jasmina, she let me know how you liked my reading. Any full reading booked, you get a second full reading completely free. Abby and I will be going live every Friday at this time. For now, that's our plan, doing tarot and astrology and mediumship readings. Please continue to join us. So again, I have a BOGO 50 for 50% off, or book a full reading and I send you a coupon code for a completely free reading by February 29th.
Awesome. And then for
Oh, Beef
myself,
Tempura Skates also has a very important question. Do I believe the earth is flat or round? Let me give you a little science lesson. Okay. So in space, if something's liquid or liquefied or soft, it always turns into a sphere because gravity is pulling from all sides equally, and all the planets were once molten lava or gas, and that would all be pulled into a sphere. So the Earth is a sphere. It's actually technically an oblate spheroid because it is not perfectly spherical because of the spinning of the Earth on its axis. It's a little tiny bit flattened out. So it's a tiny bit oval shaped, but spherical nonetheless. That's my science lesson. Abby, do you have any, do
I'm
you
just
have
going to
any
talk about
specials?
I'm just going to talk about my specials. So, The with the Can Astrologer over on my channel, I am doing also a BOGO 50. I'm sorry, a BOGO buy one get one. I said buy one get one free, right? Yes, that's what I said. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I said BOGO 50. All of my readings are 50% off. Sorry, I'm getting lost. So between now and the end of February, all of my readings are 50% off, minus my, well, no, I'll keep my 420 in there too. So I have a 420 reading. It's 4 cards, $20. It'll be 10 until the end of the February. I have a 30-minute reading, multiple cards, multiple decks, $50. It'll be $25. And then I've got a 60-minute reading, and it goes way more in depth, multiple questions. It's usually $100. It'll be $50 through the end of February. I'm also giving away a free chill still pipe in either black or pink, the Celestial model. The Celestial,
I
you can
love
see
those
this.
decorations.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. And chill still pipes, these things are amazing. It's steel on the outside. It's got a beautiful what is that? It starts with a C. Can't think of it right now, but it keeps your ice and any water for your flour that you put into your pipe, keeps it super cold for a super long time. These, it's like $180 value. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter, and all of that information should be in the description below this video. If not, you can find it at my channel
It's
at,
all in there.
yeah, at the Can Astrologer Tarot. And you just got to be 21 years of age or older, and I'll be drawing for that at the end of the month. So
All right, everyone. Abby, lovely talk. We need to do more alien talk. And I have an
that's,
idea if you're into it. You could, thank you, Natalie. You could do a class on the live and I can be your student. And
ooh, I
I'm
love
sure you'll
that.
have a million questions from people.
I love that. I'm so down. We can, do readings and just go through the cards and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll see each other next Friday, everybody. Thank you to everybody who was here and put positive, serious questions in the chat. And for all of those who weren't so positive, we love you anyway. And here's a hug to you since you didn't get them at home when you
Yeah.
needed them.
Sending out the best of vibes. Branwyn, yes, hold on to that astronomy question for next week because we'll answer
Oh,
them anytime.
is it quick? If it's quick, I can answer it. If it's something easy, if you want to type it in.
And Natalie loves your lights in the background. I've told you that. I love your lights. I think that's
Tarjay,
cool.
Tarjay.
I have to find mine. I've got them somewhere, but I have to find mine.
I love putting up lights. I have a little light problem. Okay, Branwyn. I guess she left.
Okay.
If not, you can email me, Branwyn. And all right, I'll see you guys later.
All right. Thanks
Abby,
again, guys. See you next
can
week.
the first one posted already. I'm gonna save this one to post for the morning. So it's
Okay.
not so many. And I'll tag
Okay.
you. Okay,
All
bye
right.
everybody. Good
Thanks
night.
again, guys.
Bye.